What is up guys, welcome back to the Rev Report. Today we'll be looking at the 2017 Audi A4 TDI Quattro. We'll be looking at its interior, exterior, special features, exhaust notes and driving dynamics. Stay tuned. So this is the 2017 A4 Quattro S Line version. As you can see, this is the B9 series, so from 2016 onwards in Australian spec. This one's got the full LED headlights. The design is pretty much modern Audi as you know it these days. It's a little bit aged because it's a 2017 and 2022 brings up new facelifts for Audi, especially the A4. This one also comes with the swooping animated tail light design, so with the sequential indicators. As you can see, this is the TDI Quattro, so it's got the all legendary Torsen diff Quattro system, all-wheel drive, rear biased. I believe it's a 60-40 split, so 60% power to the rear and 40% to the front. Unlike the A3 and below, this car, obviously being the S Line model, comes with special RS wheels, RS inspired wheels, which are 19-inch on both ends. This also has keyless go, keyless entry on all doors. As you know, as I've mentioned to you, this is a diesel, also takes AdBlue. Pretty efficient diesel, this one. It also comes with front and rear parking sensors, along with a wide angle camera at the rear. Dual exhaust tips, both real. It's got these really nice rocker panels on the side for the S Line version. Now let's take a look at the interior. So heading into the interior of the A4 S Line TDI Quattro, as you can see, before I jump in, you can see that it has electric seats, lumbar, and full electric all round, except for this part, which is the knee support, and it's got two-person memory seats on just the one side actually. So it's just on this side that it has these features for the seats. As you can see, it's like a part sort of suede material in the middle, part leather at the side bolstering of each seat. That goes towards the back as well, and it's got the S marketing badging here as well. As you can see, it's got a very aggressively designed S Line steering wheel, very nice to hold, perforated leather. I believe this is heated. No, this also has the previous gen analog gauge cluster. It doesn't have the Audi virtual cockpit. So this is what the gauge cluster looks like. You can change, so with this view button, many of you might know that the view button actually changes what the gauges do or look like. This one only just turns on the minimum display, or in the A3 it's called reduced display. So, and these buttons just change what you're seeing in front of you. So as you can see the navigation system. You're flicking through the menus in this, it's a really smooth screen. I wouldn't be surprised if it's 60 frames per second for us IT geeks. The interior is very much typical Audi. Can't fault its build quality. These buttons are very nice to click, very solid. Also has the dial for the mirrors as well. The mirrors also come with the heated function. So in cold nights or cold mornings, when the mirrors are all fogged up, you can turn this on and the mirrors should defrost. It does have these ambient lights in the door panels, in the trimming inside. Oh, as you can see, also I forgot to mention, it has this aluminium going across the interior, which is very nice, very premium, compensating for what this car is. Also the array of headlight controls here. So you've got these air vents going across and this air vent design here as well. I believe this is not blowing out any air when you turn on the air conditioning system through this panel here between the two air vents. This also has touch sensitive buttons here for the AC. Touch sensitive before you do anything. So that's how that works. And this is same goes for the radio switches. As you can see, if I just like hover my fingers through the array of the 8 buttons here, it actually detects that I'm going through them here. It's not going to do anything, it's just going to show me what station is at number 3, for example, or at number 5. You've also got this nice gear shifter, which is a gear by wire. It's not a physical shifter where it shifts gears like a long gear shifter would, old-fashioned. This is the newer design. You've also got heated seats for both driver and passenger, and a black roof line. Oh, as you can see, the ambient lights just switched on, but they are just one color. It's really weird. You've got the start button here, which is very nice to click as well when you start the car up. You've got these nice paddle shifters, although they're pretty flimsy, plastic design. S badge here, but love the steering wheel design. Let me know what you guys think about the interior of this. I think it's really nice. I do think that competitors such as the C-Class are much more exciting inside. The 3 Series, yeah, it's probably in the middle between this and the Mercedes, but this one is just the all-around nice interior. I think the aluminium trimmings makes it stand out a lot, and along with the very sleek horizontal biased design. So yeah, this is pretty much what the inside of this S Line A4 looks like. So on the passenger side, you only have the electric seats adjustment, but you don't have the memory seating. They've got this nice S trimming on both the passenger and the driver's doors, not at the rear. Unfortunately, this car doesn't come with the Bang & Olufsen sound system. It's just the standard Audi sound system, and it doesn't even have a subwoofer, which is a shame, especially considering this is the Quattro model, not just the front-wheel drive model. But you know, I guess Audi just would like to milk out all the money we have from our bank accounts, so that is fair enough. So at the front of the A4, you've also got these decent door pockets on each side, and you've got a glove box which is decently sized, 2 cup holders, this space for your key, and this huge chunk of a center console with an adjustable armrest. So yeah, it's all pretty neat, very good quality, very good build quality. Everything's screwed together very tightly, and this frameless mirror is very nice as well to look at. You've also got these mirrors with the cool white LED also on that side as well, and a card holder. Also, one very important thing that, as you guys know by now, I like to mention is the lighting inside the car. So if I tap this, it actually turns the light on. It's a touch system for these reading lights for the front passengers. And if I turn on the normal lights, as you can see, they're very nice, cool white design. So not the old-fashioned off-white design that we saw in the Porsche. And yeah, can't really complain how this car looks outdated or anything. It's very much a modern looking car, modern styling, you know, it's got the looks, and it's most likely got the reliability too, being the diesel. Now let's look at the rear seating. So heading into the rear seats for the A4 inside, I believe this car is of the more larger cars compared to its competitors. It's also got rear door pockets, very decently sized, can fit a decent sized water bottle in there. And you can also control the temperature for the rear air conditioning in these rear air vents. And you've also got the reading lights at the rear. So yeah, I'm 5'6", and as you know, I'm not very tall at all, and I've got plenty of space to play around with here. Very comfortable. The seats could help with a bit more of a recline, but they do seem a little bit uncomfortably uptight. I think they should be a bit more sloped, a bit more reclined, but it's not a really big issue. Headroom is fine. Got about a finger worth of space, or a pinky or a thumb. A thumb probably fits the bill better. But yeah, this is how the rear end is. Not really much going on. It's fairly simple. It's just the design is nice back here. So going into the boot, it comes with a pretty spacious capacity. I'll drop in the liters in the bottom of the video down below. Let's move on to the engine. So the engine in this car is a 2-litre turbo diesel. It is mated to a 7-speed S-tronic dual clutch transmission, mated to the Quattro all-wheel drive system. As you can see, this is longitudinally mounted, so it's not a transverse mount like the A3 and below. Pretty much a part spin engine. As you can see, it's got a Volkswagen badge in certain places, and this engine for this specific car makes 140 kilowatts and 400 newton meters at just 1,750 RPM. So it's pretty decent. It gets the car going from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 7.2 seconds, which is pretty good for this type of car. And don't forget, in the rain as well, this system does handle pretty insane, I have to tell you. Even through turns, it just doesn't have any slippage. You have utmost confidence wherever you drive it. So yeah, and being a diesel, this does seem very, very smooth, like utterly smooth for a diesel. Even when idling and when just accelerating, there's no vibrations. It's very dampened inside. I guess being the A4, they would increase the smoothness and to just pay more attention to how smooth the car drives and how comfortable it is compared to an A3, for example. So yeah, this is how the car is moved by. It's moved by this beast of a diesel engine. I've heard many good things about it, and you know, it just goes and goes and goes, keeps ticking. Not really anything that could go wrong, being the 2-litre diesel. So moving on, let's hear how it sounds. I'm just as curious as you to hear how this 2-litre diesel sounds at the exhaust. Let's go. Now, let's take the A4 for a spin. So whilst taking off, this car also tensions your seatbelt to remind you that this has the pre-sense system, which this does have. It's really odd that this has Audi pre-sense, yet it doesn't have adaptive cruise control, and neither does it have the Audi active assist like the A3s do from 2013 onwards. It does have the blind spot assist, as you may see from the black rectangles inside the mirrors, the side mirrors. So they switch on when there's a car, so it tells you that there's a car next to you on your next lane. There is a bit of a delay when you accelerate from a standstill, like flooring it as well. I'm not sure if it's got to do with the dual clutch gearbox being mated to the all-wheel drive system, the Quattro. But other than that, it is fairly zippy and pretty much an Audi when you corner and you drive it. This specific car has the start-stop system for when you stop at a traffic light and the engine turns off. Actually, this engine turns off before you even come to a standstill. So I believe this has that auxiliary battery that allows that. It also has the brake hold feature, so you don't have to push the brake pedal whilst you're at the traffic lights. It's also got drive select, so you can change the mode that you're in for driving. So comfort loosens up the steering wheel. It also makes the gearbox more comfortable to drive. You've also got auto, dynamic, which stiffens up the steering wheel and puts the gearbox into sports mode. Individual is to your own liking, so individual, basically, I'll show you how it looks like. So individual, you can change the gearbox and engine settings and also the steering. So there's no adaptive suspension in this, unfortunately, but you know, this is what you get. At least you can adjust the driving style somewhat, so it's better than nothing. At night, this is very much lit up. I'll just show you the legendary handling that Audi is known to offer. And that's what I mean when it comes to turning at a really quick pace in the Quattro system. It literally has no slippage, full confidence. As you may have heard, all the boxes in the back just flew to the other side of the car. I will say, however, the lag that is experienced when you take off is very annoying. It's about a 3-second lag, so it's really noticeable. Just idling, it doesn't feel like a diesel at all. It feels very smooth. This also does have the integrated cornering lights, which are integrated inside the whole headlight unit. So yeah, it picks up and goes. This also does have a launch control mode, but I won't show that to you as it is a bit risky, especially going up on YouTube. You turn off the traction control through this button completely by pressing and holding. Put it into sports mode, the gearbox, mash the brake and the throttle at the same time, and you'll just see the revs stay at one point, and that's launch control for you. And then manual, just push the gear selector to the left. Just driving the dual clutch gearbox in this car doesn't really feel like a dual clutch. It's very much tuned to comfort. Just go into some back roads here. Steering could be more sharp, but body roll is on point. I think given this is a Quattro, it would have a more sporty oriented suspension. When you press park, whilst it's in manual mode, it actually goes back to its place. So I'll just explain to you the infotainment in this car. So with the infotainment, basically this is your main controller along with these two buttons, and menu is basically your home button, so it takes you to this screen here. And basically your quick functions, 4 quick functions here, so navigation, telephone, radio and media. So media can be anything from Bluetooth to SD card to Wi-Fi, so you can connect to this car's own Wi-Fi signal and play your own media through there. Audi smartphone interface, so this also comes with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, so that's pretty cool. Thankfully, what Audi have done is that they've switched the scrolling method for this knob or dial here to right-hand drive users, more intuitive than the older cars. So the reversing camera and sensor situation also comes up in this screen. So as you can see, it's got a very clear reversing camera, wide angle, and also shows you your sensors as well, front and rear. So as you can see, this little plus icon here, so that corresponds with this button. So when I press it, it should come up with options. So we've driven the Audi, we have reviewed the whole lot and all its features. This is a good option for those that love driving a lot and also want a car that's sporty and also has the luxury combined. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and hope to see you all in the next one. Cheers.